Alright, so we're going to take a look at some malware that I downloaded. There's this awesome website that this guy, Patrick Wardle, owns and operates. It's called Objective-C. It's in the background here. This website is a wealth of information. He does a fantastic job on the blog, the products that he offers, and the recommendations. But what we're here to look at is the malware. And this malware back here, we can look at all this malware, and he's got 122 samples of malware that we can literally download and go look at the info, and check it out, right? And see what this actually does. I downloaded two pieces. One is called Snake, and I was not able to detect that malware within the XProtect malware definitions on the Mac. So the Mac has this security software built into it called XProtect, and it works with the malware removal tool. And there's this list of definitions that it will protect the system against. And this Snake was not in that list that I could find just by the searching the name Snake. And I wasn't able to find that. I'll show you how I would actually look that up as well to show you the list of block definitions that are on your Mac currently. But as you can see, there are a ton of malware definitions that you need to be worried about. All this different software is very, very nasty. And the Mac is doing a lot to actually combat against it. So we're going to kind of take a peek and see what we can look at. All right. So I actually downloaded this malware called Snake, and it's an install Adobe Flash player. Adobe gets picked on a lot because it's widely distributed and people are always wanting it. So it's very easy to get them to go click it. Hey man, your video's not gonna work. Click the button to update your Flash. Oh sure, and then they click away and bam, man, they're hooked. The back door is in, and they're getting your data. So I also grabbed a Adobe Flash player directly from Adobe so we can take a look at both of these packages to kind of see what a good package looks like versus what a bad package is going to look like. And then I've got another package here that we're actually going to use this app, Suspicious Package. Suspicious Package will allow me to see exactly what a package is going to do. It's going to show me any scripts, any files that are going to get placed onto the system. It's an awesome little application. So let's dig in. We're going to have to open up the terminal to kind of check out some of this stuff. So let's get that open. Command spacebar, type in terminal and return. And I am going to hit Command K to clear the screen and a plus to blow it up. And so the first thing that you can do to kind of take a look at these installers is I can look and see if it has a proper certificate that it's using for being signed. So let's take a look at that first. We're just going to type in code sign -d VVVV, and we're going to drag the good one in there first just to see what that looks like. Oh. And you can hold the option key to drop it wherever you want. Hit code sign and go. And what we're going to see here is this is the code signature of the developer that signed this installer, this .app. If we scroll down and we look at authority, we're going to see that Adobe Systems signed this, which is exactly what you want to see when you're about to install that piece of software. But now let's say I want to go look at the bad one. So we're going to do code sign -d VVVV. And all right, oh, hold on. Give me a space. So now what we're going to look at, and you're going to notice that it says unavailable when I look at authority. So it was signed at one point, and if I actually go back to this website and go to the snake details on this, you'll see that previously, prior to this developer getting banned by Apple, this is who signed it, right? And if we go back to my terminal window, we're going to see that now it shows up as authority is unavailable, but we're going to see the team identifier is in fact the same, right? It is the same team identifier right there. So that's kind of funny. As soon as Apple blocks them, it goes as unavailable, which is fantastic. We can already tell that this is not going to run just by doing this code sign. One other thing that we can take a look at is we can see if it was notarized. In the future, Apple is going to require that all applications and packages and KEX and things that can run and perform nastiness on your Mac are one, signed by a developer, and two, they are notarized. And what that means is they're submitted up to Apple. Apple gives a validation, almost like a validation stamp that they doesn't contain any malware. It looks good. It does what it does. And then the developer will staple that to the package that they're going to deploy out to the world, right? And that tells all those Macs out there, hey, man, this is a good package. It was signed by a good developer, and Apple reviewed it, and it looks good. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So we're going to use the command sp. Well, let me get. So first, we're going to take a look at. So what'll happen is, if it was notarized, it'll just go through. So I'm going to type spctl --assess and space, and I'm going to drag the one from Adobe in there and hit go. Nothing happened and went away. That's good. That means Adobe has notarized this .app installer. If I run that again, spctl -assess, and I drag the snake one in there, we're going to see that the cert was revoked for that developer for writing malware, man. All right, so we're able to see that this software is not good, right? And that we should not be running this software on our systems. I want to point out that this eyeworm was in the list. This for the malware definitions list. This snake was not. But what's awesome, I'm going to show you right now. If I double click this, Apple's mechanism detects that it's malware. It's telling you this will damage your computer, move it to the trash. Get rid of it, and it's detecting it, and I didn't even find it in the malware list. So the tool is working beyond what the list is even saying, unless I maybe just didn't detect the right lookup. Let me show you how to take a look at all the definitions that are actually on the Mac. All right, so I'm going to hit cancel on this. This eyeworm install, the reason you're seeing that little circle, I can't even double click this, right? Because it's a 32-bit app, which is awesome that Apple's blocking those on Catalina. That's an extra security benefit for sure. So let's do two more things. We're going to take a look at and do a Command K to clear that screen. And we're going to want to do a cat. And we're going to grab the XProtect file. And we're going to pull and see what is in that list. So core services, core types, and then bundles tab, contents, and then resources, XProtect, and .plist. If I just hit go, it's going to show me this huge list of stuff, and all I want to know are the names of the files. So I want to grab, this is a piece of malware, so I want to grab pretty much this thing. We're just going to do a quick and simple grep on this. So I'm going to arrow up, and I'm going to pipe this to grep -I for case insensitive, and then I'm going to type in description, and I want to go back, and I want to do a -A1. I want to grab the line after description, and I'm going to hit enter, and this is going to give us our list of malware that we have on this system. And you can just scroll through, or I shouldn't say malware that we have on this system. This is the malware definitions that we're protecting against on this system. This is what's in your XProtect file, so the system knows what to protect against. So you can scroll through. There are tons. Actually, let me just see if I can get a... Oh. 308 lines. Ooh, but divide that by 3, pretty much 100 different malware definitions. Wow. That's a lot of stuff that they're blocking against. So the next thing that I wanted to show in this video is I downloaded this application called Suspicious Package, and it's gonna run it, and it's gonna pop up like this, and you're gonna see that these are packages that I've run it on already, right? If I were to click fix on this, I'm allowing it access to my documents and all this stuff to basically find installer packages, and then it will allow me to look at the inside of them. In this demo, I'm just going to drag the package onto the window. So I'm going to drag it, and I want to see what's in this package. Okay, so the first tab says package info. Okay, so it's signed by me. I made this package. Oh, it might be malware. So we need to see, okay, it doesn't run any scripts, any install scripts. That's interesting. So it must not do a huge amount. Let's go take a look at the files. All right, so this is a non-notarized install. So if I were to run that command on this, that spctl assess command, it would be a rejected file. Let's give that a try. spctl -assess, and let's drag that file. Rejected, right? Because it was not notarized. All right, so this is a quick and easy way to go look. Now, if it did have some scripts in there, what's awesome is I can look at those scripts. I can download this file. So if I export empty file to downloads, and then basically you just go look at it, right? You can look at all of the different files and see if there's any scripts or anything in there. Now, if we came back to our malware that we downloaded, right off the bat, I can go and I can click control. I want to open up and see the inside of this snake malware install Adobe package. If I open this up, there's going to be a bunch of files in here. So right off the bat, it might look like it's the actual installer, but once you start digging in, you're going to start to see little tips and things that are going to raise awareness. Let's take a look at the info.plist. We're scrolling through, and we're seeing, okay, install Adobe Flash Player. Oh, com.addy.install Adobe Flash. I don't know, that kind of looks funky. No bundle signature. You know, I mean, it might fool somebody, but I would start to look at that. I mean, if we go take a peek at the actual Adobe one real quick. So here's the one from Adobe. I'm holding Control and I'm clicking on the file. I'm going to do Show Package Contents. Double click on Contents. Click on Info. Hit Spacebar to open it up. Let me look in there and see what this thing looks like. Yeah, com.adobe.flash player. I mean, they could fluff that. They could have fluffed that. I don't know why they didn't, but maybe it used to be called an Addy. But you can start looking into this and seeing what this is doing. You know, these executables, you might not be able to do a cat in your terminal on them. Let me see. Command K. Let's just see if we can read these just with a simple cat. No, but I'm sure there's a way to read this. I don't have anything. Well, we could use strings. We can use the strings command. This is comes with Xcode. So you'd have to have the command line tools with Xcode to get your strings command. But if I take strings and I want to look at the inside of a binary, I can kind of try to figure out what it does. So if I drag this on here, click go, now I can arrow up and kind of try to figure out if this thing does anything that I can try to figure out. Okay, here's a URL that I might try to figure out. Okay, do shell script with administrator privileges install.sh, so that would be this file here that it's going to be trying to run. Alright, we could do the next one too. Let me see. Strings. Go look at the. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Adobe. I highly doubt Adobe's app is going to look like this, right? Anything like this. This thing is. Yeah, if you start looking through this, you're going to start to get an idea that you probably wouldn't want to run this on your system, right? But thankfully, the Apple OS is protecting you by with its gatekeeper and XProtect setup, right? Being able to lock you out. Hey, if you haven't checked out my security course, go check that sucker out. That'll give you kind of a little bit better view of what the Apple security looks like on your Mac itself. One other thing, did I even bring this up? Oh, I didn't bring this up. So if you go into your system preferences and open up security and privacy, if you take a look at this App Store and identified developers, so this is going to allow malicious software if it was signed, right? If that software was signed by a developer that just didn't care and Apple didn't pick up on it yet, this would run that software. But if oh yeah, the best way to unlock your Mac is with that Apple Watch, man. You know, another video I got if you need to learn how to do that. So if I choose Apple, the App Store right here, and now those apps, it's only going to allow apps that I download from the Mac App Store, which is fantastic. It blocks a whole bunch of possibilities. So then if your kids or whoever, you just don't want anybody to run other software on your Mac, you only want them to run stuff from the App Store, turn that on. And then if you need it, come back and turn it back off, right? But that's it. Hey guys, if you ain't if you're not subscribed, get subscribed obviously, and click that alert button. In one of the future videos, I'm going to be showing how to actually build a Mac package with your script and your launch daemon or whatever you want to put in it, and then I'm going to show you how to sign it with your developer cert, and I'm going to show you how to notarize that app so you can deploy it and have it run happily on Apple's Mac OSs. All right, guys, have an awesome week. Can't wait to share next week's message. Have a great day and take care.